morning.
Good morning.
My name is Juan Agirre, BSN, RN. I'm a candidate for United States Congress in Illinois District 3. I'm running for Congress to cure Chicago's corrupt government.
Cure.
Corruption is contagious, as evidenced by corruption's infection of the American cannabis industry. The rich, powerful, and politically connected conspired with our elected officials to establish a monopoly in the Illinois cannabis industry. Green Thumb Industries, Korver and Verano have engaged in dishonest and fraudulent business dealings, which lay the question as to whether their dealings, aided and abetted by Michael J Madigan, amounts to a violation of the Racketeers, Influence and Corruption Act, commonly known as the RICO Act.
Come on now.
In light of this corruption, we are gathered here today on floor 19 to demand Governor Pritzker and President Biden grant clemency tomorrow on 4/20 to all nonviolent cannabis offenders. We demand that they grant amnesty to all cannabis offenders. We demand the release of our brothers and sisters who lay in anguish, locked up, and suffering from the greatest injustice this country has seen since the enactment of Jim Crow laws. We demand Governor Pritzker abolish license caps and immediately issue one dispensary license to all applicants who scored at least an 85% in the first round in order to resolve the litigation that holds hostage the issuance of social equity licenses in Illinois. We demand Governor Pritzker abolish the lottery licensing system and replace it with a rooted system, rooted in true social equity, one that reserves 51% of all new licenses to Americans in the lowest socioeconomic tier. We demand licenses for the poor, powerless, and politically disconnected.
Period.
We demand licenses for those who have proven time and time again that they always have this country's best interests in mind. We demand licenses for humble servants of the community who risk their lives throughout this pandemic to provide life-saving resources, life-saving services, and life-saving knowledges to our most vulnerable citizens in low-income communities. We demand licenses for our veterans of the war against COVID-19. Once I'm sworn into Congress as the representative of the 3rd Congressional District, I will introduce H.R. 420, the True Social Equity in Cannabis Tax Act. The True Social Equity in Cannabis Tax Act will, 1, federally decriminalize cannabis possession and sales up to any amount. Number 2, immediately release all non-violent cannabis offenders from prison. Number 3, establish a commission to research the amount of restitution owed to Americans arrested, prosecuted, and incarcerated for non-violent cannabis offenses. Number 4, honor the 10th Amendment of the Constitution, allowing each state in our union to decide whether or not to regulate and license cannabis sales. Number 5, abolish Section 280E of the IRS tax code.
Period.
And number 6, when signed into law, H.R. 420, the True Social Equity in Cannabis Tax Act, will mandate that every state in this great union reserve 51% of all new cannabis licenses to Americans in the lowest socioeconomic class. The True Social Equity in Cannabis Tax Act will ensure the poor, powerless, and politically disconnected get their fair share of the pie. The fight for true social equity in cannabis is deeply personal to me. I too was once a victim of the war on drugs. In 2015, I was arrested, prosecuted, and sentenced for marijuana possession in the great state of Michigan. The government of the state of Michigan tried to bury me, but they failed to realize that I am a seed. And now, 7 years later, I stand here today alongside my comrades, waging war against corruption in the American cannabis industry, waging war against corruption in our political system.
That's right.
On June 28, 2022, The people will vote in a historic election where they have a real choice. On June 28th, 2022, the people will decide between the do-nothing Democrats and Juan, like marijuana, Agirre. Thank you, God bless you, and God bless these United States of America.
That's right.